Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
$7 trillion today, but it's pretty flat. XRP's at 104. I think maybe it was at 102 or so earlier today. Now I want to show you what is happening that's big this week, and that is the Bitcoin conference in Miami. I want to play you this clip. This is with the Miami mayor. I want to play you this and let you hear what he has to say.
Conference that's taking place this week because the crypto elite and thousands of other investors have descended on the city of Miami for the largest crypto gathering ever. It's called Bitcoin 2021. Joining us right now is the mayor of that city of Miami, Francis Suarez. Good morning to you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate you being with us. You have, as we just said, the Bitcoin elite or the crypto elite all in your city. You've almost tried to rebrand the city around crypto. What does that look like to you right now in terms of just both the energy that's coming off of it, but what you actually want the city to be when it relates to crypto?
Well, first of all, the energy is off the charts. As you said, it's the largest Bitcoin conference ever. There's been reports that 50,000 people will be attending the Bitcoin conference in one way, shape, or form. And it's already changed the way our city works. We had FTX, which is a large crypto exchange out of Hong Kong, buy the naming rights to what was formerly the American Airlines Arena, a $200 million deal. And that $200 million deal became a summer jobs program and became a strategy to combat gun violence, which of course is something that plagues every large urban city. So we're starting to see the fruits of that rebranding. We want to be a city that focuses on the next series of technological advances, artificial intelligence, of course, crypto, biotech. So that's how we're positioning ourselves, and it's bearing some significant fruit for us.
You've talked about the city itself taking Bitcoin and putting on its balance sheet, paying people in Bitcoin and paying people in crypto. Are you doing any of that?
Yes, we are. We're actively looking at it. The first thing we had to do is we had to make sure that we could surmount the legal hurdles. We got a legal opinion that at least allowed us to pay our employees in crypto and accept crypto for fees and payments. We also needed the county to get on board, and there was a county commissioner, Daniela Cohen-Higgins, who also passed a corollary resolution at the county to allow for tax payments to be paid in crypto. So we're engaging in that process. Now we have to go to an RFP, basically a solicitation for a third party that can manage it. So we're continuing to go along in that process. Holding it on the balance sheet is a lot more complicated because number one, we're not allowed to hold something that's not fiat at this particular moment. So that will require a state law change. And then of course the volatility of it is something that will probably need to work itself out before a city can meet its.
Now I think this is great. I think it's great for mayors and politicians like this to pick crypto up. I think this is good for all of crypto. I think he will eventually find that Bitcoin is not necessarily the best suited for all he's trying to do, and he will find his way to the digital assets that are fast and work better for payments and things like that. Now, I don't want everybody to be able to see this because I think some big things are going to come out of this conference. This is the handle at the Bitcoin CONF. You can see Ross Ulbricht, that's the guy from Silk Road. They're going to do a recorded interview with him. But if you go down this, they're doing all sorts of different interviews. They're going to have that race car that raced in the, I think there was a race this past week where the Bitcoin car. They're also going to have, let me make sure of something. They're also going to have Ron Paul as a speaker there. Listen to what he had to say.
Well, you know, Dr. Paul, because of this discontentment with the unchecked power of central banks, of the Fed, of the government, the way that money is being printed, the potential debasement of the dollar, which does seem to be an inevitability at this point, according to many, we're seeing a rising interest in alternatives like Bitcoin as a potential crypto asset, as a potential alternative store of value. Now, you're speaking at the Bitcoin 2021 conference in Miami later this week. You've always been a staunch supporter of free markets, libertarianism, and a proponent of safe haven assets like gold. So where does Bitcoin fall into this for you? What are your views on Bitcoin?
Well, I know a lot more, at least I'll make the claim, a lot more about precious metals being money. And I was fascinated with this for a long, long time. But I'm also fascinated with what's coming. And people ought to have as much freedom as possible to have choices. So the one bill that I thought was a very important bill that I introduced in Congress, not only to audit the Fed, but also to get rid of the legal tender laws, competition, because right now there will be a debate, and I'm sure there'll be a debate at the end of this week. You know, some people, matter of fact, most people I meet in conferences like this is they don't hate gold or anything. They just might like crypto a little bit more. But the debate will continue, and the market will finally determine that. My goal is to legalize the competition, and that I think the people will sort it out. Freedom of choice will sort it out.
Now, I 1000% agree with him, but I also, here's where I insert myself. It's no coincidence, I tweeted this out today. It is no coincidence that there's been an attempt to give regulatory clarity to Bitcoin and Ethereum while leaving others with better tech in no man's land. This is the ultimate manipulation. When it's ended, game, set, match, XRP #0 doubt. And what I mean there is, look, yeah, Bitcoin should be allowed to compete with the dollar. I agree. But Bitcoin should also have to compete with the other digital assets. And if you think there's manipulation in the Bitcoin markets or all of crypto, one of the biggest manipulations is that whoever it is, I don't know, I can't name names, the powers that be have intentionally set it up so that only Bitcoin and Ethereum have any kind of clarity. They've intentionally left these others in gray areas, and the reason they've done it is because they don't want those two to have to compete with better digital assets, and that's the fact, Jack, and that needs to change. Once that changes, it's game over. That, just like Charles Hoskinson said, once something jumps Bitcoin, there's no reason to own it. That's the problem. That's the reason that there are political games being played like this. Now, I wanted to show you that John Deaton, James Rule had pointed out that John Deaton is at the Bitcoin conference. And so John Deaton said this. He said, as many of you know, I own Bitcoin, and I believe that I was a proponent of Bitcoin until I was surrounded by Bitcoin maxis. Apparently, Bitcoin solves all problems. Homelessness, Bitcoin solves it. World hunger, Bitcoin solves it. I've also heard that Bitcoin is the world's greenest energy. And I replied to this and I said, this is the problem. I'm all for Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin and Ethereum to be successful, but to pretend that they are everything and that all the other digital assets are just shit coins or whatever, it's just plain dishonest, and they know it. They know it. And this is, they also say about, everybody should all get along. Well, that's fine. We can all get along, but you have to have that level playing field. And once you have the level playing field, let the best digital asset win. We'll see. And I hope that all of them do well. I hope Bitcoin, Ethereum, I hope they all do well. But to have political hacks that are behind the scenes engineering this thing and to not let there be a level playing field is BS, and everybody knows it, period. Okay, now, and speaking of people engineering things, from CoinDesk Scoop, JP Morgan is hiring crypto-savvy employees in compliance, payments, and engineering. Experience with Bitcoin and Ethereum is a huge plus, says one post. All I'll say here is that my father, the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel, has said many times to me that nothing happens without JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. And just by coincidence, both Jay Clayton and Gary Gensler have histories with Goldman Sachs. That's a coincidence, though. RizXRP sent me this, Mark Cuban. Watching CNBC, and the guest who used to work with the SEC, has absolutely no understanding of cryptos, says there's zero utility. One certainty is crypto will continue to positively impact business more than the SEC. I agree. I'm happy to educate him on the applications we're developing. Well, Mark Cuban is as guilty of doing the Bitcoin Ethereum dance as anyone else. And so I replied and I said, it starts with you guys being honest about other digital assets besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. These guys, a lot of these guys are talking their books. And hold on a sec, I got a freaking TV going here. All right. Okay. So, but these guys have to be on, I mean, look, stop all the Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else doesn't matter. That's just not true, and they know it's not true. That's all we're asking here. Okay, breaking news, Russia will completely remove U.S. dollar assets from its national wealth fund, NWF, while increasing the share of the euro, Chinese yuan, and gold. The writing's on the wall, folks. Now, this is Jeremy Hogan. James Phelan had tweeted this out. After 2.5-year investigation and almost 6 months after filing the complaint, the SEC has just requested that the court extend the deadlines for both fact and expert discovery. And then Jeremy Hogan replied into this. The SEC has apparently bitten off more than it can chew and is asking the court for more time at the dinner table. I don't know if the court will grant the extension, but I do know that the SEC is way behind the 8 ball. Note again that the new Chicago lawyer wrote the letter. So these guys are asking for more time. Maybe the Chicago guys trying to straighten out the ship. Who knows? Now, talk about Freudian slips. I want you to listen, folks. This is Mark Carney, who's on the Stripe board. Stripe was one of the original investors in Stellar. He was also the governor of the Bank of England. This guy's is thick as thieves with the IMF, the World Economic Forum, and all of those players. You tell me, and not only that, but the Bank of England is a paying customer of Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse said it himself. Listen to this little slip. They never say Ripple or XRP. Listen.
Wholesale finance opportunities, and so you see a lot of activity around that based off of Ethereum or Ripple, other currencies like that, and they may well have a role. But at the core of this,
did you see how
wholesale finance opportunities?
See how freaking fast he jumped away from Ripple the second he realized he had said it? That is not a coincidence. And I want to finish up with this. Jeannie, Ripple's full list of partners. Imagine this list hasn't been updated since 2019. This is way bigger than your eyes can see. I totally agree. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that this is way bigger than your eyes can see. Thank you.